Hey everybody, Mike Iaconelli here for Bass U Basics, and I want to talk to you today about how to hook and land a fish once you get that bite. You know, for me, this is one of the funnest parts of the entire process of fishing, is the moment you get that bite and you set the hook and you battle that fish in and then you land it or net that fish. That's really why we all fish. That's the puzzle being solved. And that feeling of landing that fish, that bass that you fooled with an artificial lure, that's the key to fishing. So let me show you some basics on how to set the hook and how to land and reel in this fish. You know, we're going to go into, in more detail, specific hook sets for different techniques. But let's start with this general method of setting the hook. And you know, 90% of the lures we're using have hooks with either a treble or a single hook attached to it with a barb. And because of that, when we get that strike and we get that bite, it's our job to get that hook into the fish's mouth. So I want to go over with you the basic hook set technique we're going to use to drive that hook home in a fish's mouth. You know, once we get that bite, the best way I want to describe it to you is by thinking about the rod as being a hand on a clock. And we want to have our rod in about that 2 or 3 o'clock rod position. So with that rod in about the 2 or 3 o'clock rod position, the moment that we feel that bite, we know that there's a fish on the end of that lure eating it, biting it. We're going to go from 2 or 3 o'clock and we're going to use a hard upward sweep. And we're going to sweep up to 12 o'clock rod position. So from 2 to 3, when we get that bite, all the way up to about that 12 o'clock rod position. And the pressure that's going to drive that hook home is so key to getting a good hook set and keeping that fish hooked. So once again, when we get that bite, our rod, look at where the rod's at on my body. That rod should be in the 2 to 3 o'clock position on a clock. The minute we detect that bite, that we know something's pulling away with it, we want to use our body and our rod and use that upward sweep to the 12 o'clock rod position. That's really the correct hook setting motion that we need to drive that hook home. Again, remember,
welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Glusek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. From on the water to in the classroom, you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best. Subscribe to Bass University TV today.